Can I ask you something a little personal? Have you ever walked into your kitchen, stood in front of the refrigerator, and forgotten what you came for? Or maybe you picked up the newspaper on your porch, but the word neighbor slipped your mind when you wanted to greet the man across the street. Many seniors tell me, "Doctor, that's just old age." But I want you to pause here. According to the New York Times, nearly one-third of Americans over the age of 65 live with some form of cognitive decline, ranging from mild memory loss to dementia. That is not just normal aging. That is your brain sending you a signal, much like chest pain warns of a heart attack. I am not here to scare you. I am here to remind you that your brain is still alive, still growing new connections every single day. I have seen patients in their 70s regain sharper memory by making small, consistent choices in their breakfast, in their daily walk, in the way they treat their own minds with respect. So let me ask you, have you experienced a memory slip recently? If yes, type the number 1 in the comments. If not, type 0. I would love to know your story. Stay with me. In the next few minutes, we will explore together the foods, herbs, and gentle acupressure that can protect your brain before it needs saving. Number 1, dementia in seniors, the silent epidemic. Dementia is not just a medical word on a chart. It is a shadow that quietly follows millions of American families. According to the Washington Post, about 10% of Americans over the age of 65 live with dementia. Another 22% live with mild cognitive impairment, which often progresses to dementia if not managed. In other words, nearly 1 in 3 seniors is facing some level of memory decline. That is a staggering number when you consider how many lives and families are touched by it. The danger of dementia is not only in memory loss, it is in what memory loss represents. When a person begins to forget how to manage their own medications or cannot recognize the street they have lived on for decades, it signals a deeper loss of independence. I once had a patient who could still walk 2 miles a day, but could not remember how to use the microwave in his own kitchen. His muscles were strong, but his mind was slipping away. That is why we call dementia a silent epidemic. It robs people not of strength at first, but of the stories that give their lives meaning. Many families fall into a common mistake. They dismiss the early signs. A grandmother repeats the same story 3 times at dinner. A father forgets where he put the car keys. The family laughs it off and says, "That is just old age." But those small lapses can be early warning lights. Ignoring them is like ignoring chest pain before a heart attack. Another important truth is that dementia is not only about age. Yes, the risk rises as we grow older. Nearly 35% of seniors over 90 are living with dementia, according to USA Today. But lifestyle choices also play a major role. Diet, exercise, sleep, and even the way we handle stress can either protect the brain or accelerate its decline. So I want you to reflect for a moment. Have you noticed changes in your memory or in someone close to you? Do you see patterns of forgetfulness, confusion, or sudden personality changes? If so, type yes in the comments and share your experience. If not, type no. Your words may encourage someone else who is silently facing the same questions. Dementia may be a silent epidemic, but awareness is the first step to protecting your brain before it needs saving. And that is what this journey together is all about. Number 2, early signs that families often overlook. The earliest signs of dementia are rarely dramatic. They do not start with a sudden collapse or an obvious crisis. Instead, they creep in quietly, in ways that families often dismiss as simple aging. A mother who used to prepare dinner without effort now forgets whether she added salt to the soup. A grandfather who once balanced the family checkbook suddenly struggles with simple math. One of my patients, an 80-year-old retired teacher, began confusing everyday words. She would call the postman the one who delivers letters. At first, her children found it amusing, but within a year, she was forgetting how to get home from the grocery store just 1 mile away. What seemed like harmless forgetfulness was in fact the beginning of cognitive decline. Families often miss these signals because they expect memory loss to be dramatic, like forgetting a child's name. But dementia begins in smaller, subtler ways, repeating the same story within minutes, struggling to follow the plot of a television show, leaving bills unpaid, even though there is money in the bank. These are not just quirks of old age. They are signs that the brain is losing its ability to process and store information. Another overlooked sign is sudden changes in mood or personality. A gentle grandmother may become irritable. A confident father may grow suspicious, even paranoid. I once treated a man who believed his wife was hiding money from him. In reality, his brain was struggling with perception and judgment. These behavioral changes can be as telling as memory lapses. The danger comes when families dismiss these signs with phrases like, "That is just how he is now." By ignoring the early clues, they lose precious time to seek medical help. Research from the National Institute on Aging shows that early intervention can slow the progression of dementia and even improve quality of life. Waiting too long allows the disease to build momentum. So let me ask you, have you noticed these smaller changes in yourself or in someone close to you? Maybe it is a loved one repeating questions or losing interest in activities they once enjoyed. If you recognize these patterns, please share your thoughts in the comments. Others may find comfort in knowing they are not alone. Early recognition is not about fear. It is about giving yourself and your loved ones the best chance to protect memory, dignity, and independence for as long as possible. Number 3, can dementia be reversed in its early stage? One of the most common questions I hear from patients and families is this: "Doctor, can dementia be reversed?" The honest answer is complex. Dementia is not a single disease, but a group of conditions that affect the brain. Some types, such as Alzheimer's disease, are progressive and do not yet have a cure. But in many cases, especially in the earliest stages, symptoms can be slowed, improved, or even temporarily reversed with the right approach. I recall a patient in his early 70s who came to me after his daughter noticed he was forgetting simple directions. He was frightened, convinced that life as he knew it was over. After a thorough evaluation, we discovered that part of his memory loss was related to poor sleep and unmanaged high blood pressure. With changes in his medication, improved sleep hygiene, and specific dietary adjustments, his memory and focus improved within months. While we did not cure dementia, we restored enough function for him to enjoy his daily walks and conversations again. Science supports these possibilities. According to the National Institute on Aging, early treatment of risk factors such as hypertension, diabetes, and sleep disorders can reduce the severity of memory decline. Harvard researchers have also found that consistent exercise, such as brisk walking for just 30 minutes a day, can improve blood flow to the brain and support new neural connections. This is part of what we call neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to adapt and form new pathways, even in later life. Families often make the mistake of believing nothing can be done once memory problems begin. That belief steals hope. The truth is that early action matters. Simple lifestyle choices, eating brain-friendly foods, maintaining social connections, practicing stress relief, and seeking medical evaluation can make a powerful difference. So let me turn this back to you. Have you or someone you love tried making small lifestyle changes and noticed an improvement in memory or clarity? Please share your story in the comments. Your experience may give hope to someone else who feels lost in fear. Dementia may not always be fully reversible, but in its early stages, it is often possible to reclaim quality of life, independence, and moments of joy. And those victories, however small, are worth pursuing. Number 4, brain tea and herbal therapy. Science meets tradition. For centuries, traditional medicine has offered remedies to support memory and brain health. Today, modern science is beginning to confirm what healers long believed. Certain herbs can improve circulation, reduce inflammation, and even protect neurons. When used carefully, these natural remedies can become part of a daily routine to nurture the brain. One formula I often recommend is a gentle brain tea made from 4 ingredients: Gastrodia alata, Codonopsis root, Salvia miltyrisa, and licorice. Each plays a unique role. Gastrodia, sometimes called tian ma, contains compounds shown to protect the brain and improve blood circulation. Codonopsis helps maintain digestive balance, which is essential because gut health is closely tied to brain health. Salvia miltyrisa supports blood flow and prevents clotting. Licorice harmonizes the blend, reducing side effects and adding a natural sweetness. Research has backed this up. A study cited by the Journal of Ethnopharmacology found that gastrodia has neuroprotective effects, particularly in models of Alzheimer's disease. Other studies suggest these herbs may reduce oxidative stress and support the brain's natural repair mechanisms. This is not folklore. This is evidence pointing to new possibilities for seniors who want to preserve their memory. Of course, one mistake I often see is that people rush to the store, buy herbs, and take them without guidance. That is not safe. Herbs can interact with medications for blood pressure, diabetes, or heart disease. That is why I always stress, consult a knowledgeable practitioner before beginning. The goal is to support your health, not add complications. Now let me pause and invite you in. Have you ever tried an herbal tea for memory, sleep, or relaxation? Did it make you feel calmer, more focused, or perhaps simply more at peace? I would love to hear your experience. Share your story in the comments below. By doing so, you may help another viewer feel less alone and more encouraged. Brain tea is not a cure, but as part of a larger lifestyle, balanced meals, gentle exercise, restful sleep, and medical care, it can be a healing companion. It represents a bridge between tradition and science, offering comfort while we continue to search for lasting solutions. And sometimes, comfort is exactly what the brain needs to heal. Number 5. 5 foods that nourish the brain. When we talk about brain health, many people immediately think of medicine or supplements. But sometimes the most powerful protection is already sitting in our kitchen. Food is not only fuel, it is information for the brain. The choices we make 3 times a day can either protect memory or quietly harm it. Let me walk you through 5 foods that research consistently shows to be good for the aging brain. First is brown rice. Unlike white rice, brown rice still contains the bran and germ, which are rich in tryptophan, an amino acid that supports serotonin production. That means a better mood and healthier sleep. For seniors with sensitive digestion, brown rice can be cooked into a soft porridge, gentle on the stomach but steady in releasing energy. In studies with aging mice, pressure-processed brown rice improved memory and reduced beta-amyloid proteins, the very proteins linked to Alzheimer's disease. Second are walnuts. Nature gave them a shape that resembles the brain, and it seems fitting. Walnuts are high in omega-3 fatty acids and antioxidants. A clinical trial reported in the Journal of Nutrition, Health and Aging found that daily walnut consumption improved cognitive performance, especially in older adults. Eating just a handful a day, about 1/4 cup, can help calm the nerves, improve circulation, and protect memory. Third is dark chocolate. I am not talking about candy bars loaded with sugar, but chocolate with at least 70% cocoa. Cocoa flavonols have been shown to improve blood flow to the brain. In a study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, seniors with mild cognitive impairment who drank a cocoa beverage daily improved in attention, language, and memory scores. Enjoying a small square of dark chocolate after dinner is not only satisfying, but can be medicine for your mind. Fourth are eggs. They are one of the richest sources of lecithin and choline, nutrients critical for acetylcholine, the neurotransmitter involved in memory. A Finnish study found that men who consumed more dietary lecithin had a lower risk of developing dementia later in life. Eggs are also affordable, versatile, and easy to digest. A simple omelet or boiled egg can become a daily brain booster. Finally, bananas. Often overlooked, bananas are packed with magnesium, tyrosine, and tryptophan. They calm the nervous system, improve focus, and even act as a gentle laxative, which can be a blessing for many seniors. Something as simple as slicing a banana into your morning oatmeal can make a difference in both body and mind. Now let me ask you, which of these foods is already part of your diet? Have you noticed a difference in your energy or memory when you eat them regularly? Please share in the comments. Your story may inspire another person to make a healthy choice today. Food is never just food. It is a daily vote for the health of your brain. Choosing wisely means giving your mind the best chance to stay sharp, present, and alive with stories worth remembering. Number 6, acupressure for the brain. Points that matter. Modern medicine and traditional wisdom often meet at surprising crossroads. One of those is acupressure. While Western neurology focuses on blood flow, neurotransmitters, and nerve health, traditional Chinese medicine looks at qi, or life energy, moving through pathways called meridians. What both agree on is this: gentle stimulation of certain points on the body can improve circulation, relax the nervous system, and bring clarity to the mind. Some of the most effective points for brain health are on the scalp. The Baihui point, located at the very top of the head, is often called the meeting of 100 points. Gentle massage here can promote blood flow to the brain and relieve tension. Another is the shenting point, near the forehead, used for focus and calming overactive thoughts. These points are not mystical guesses. They correspond with dense networks of nerves and blood vessels, which explains why stimulation can bring relief. There are also points on the ear that mirror the entire body. Practitioners sometimes apply tiny seeds or beads to the outer ear at spots linked to memory, sleep, and emotional balance. Patients often report brighter eyes, better rest, and a calmer mood after a few weeks of consistent practice. But here is where many families go wrong. They try to do acupressure on their own, pressing random spots or massaging immediately after a meal. That can be ineffective or even uncomfortable. The safest way is to learn from a trained practitioner, then practice at home with clear guidance. Even 5 minutes a day, done correctly, can be a gentle addition to your brain care routine. Now I want to ask you, have you ever tried acupressure, whether for headaches, sleep, or memory? Did it help you feel more relaxed or focused? Share your story in the comments. By speaking up, you may help someone else find the courage to try something new for their health. Acupressure is not a miracle cure, but it is a reminder that sometimes the simplest touch, steady, mindful, caring, can be medicine. For seniors, it can be a way to reconnect with the body, improve circulation, and give the brain one more tool for healing. Number 7, building a daily routine for cognitive protection. When it comes to protecting the brain, consistency is more powerful than intensity. Small habits, repeated every day, build a shield for your memory. I often tell my patients, it is not what you do once in a while, but what you do every morning, every afternoon, and every evening that counts. Imagine beginning the day with a warm bowl of brown rice porridge sprinkled with walnuts. You are not just eating breakfast. You are fueling your brain with tryptophan, omega-3 fats, and steady energy. Add half a banana on the side, and you have magnesium and natural serotonin support to calm the nervous system. That is a brain-friendly start before you even step out the door. Midday is a good time for a cup of brain tea. The herbs, gastrodia, codonopsis, salvia, and licorice work quietly in the background to improve circulation and reduce oxidative stress. Instead of reaching for another cup of coffee, try this tea. It not only supports focus, but also avoids the jittery crash that caffeine can bring. Evening can be the perfect moment for acupressure. Just 5 minutes of gentle massage on the Baihui point at the top of your head or applying ear seeds under the guidance of a professional can help improve sleep and circulation. Combined with a short walk after dinner, even just half a mile at a comfortable pace, you are telling your brain, I care for you today. What many seniors forget is that routine brings safety. When the brain knows what to expect, it feels less stress. Less stress means lower cortisol, better blood flow, and sharper memory. Families can help by keeping daily rhythms consistent, meals at the same time, gentle exercise in the same window each day. Even reading or listening to music in the evening can become part of a calming ritual that trains the brain to rest. Now let me ask you, do you already have a routine that supports your memory? Maybe a favorite morning walk or a nightly tea that helps you sleep? Share it in the comments. Your daily habit might be the missing idea someone else needs to start their own healing journey. A daily routine is not about perfection. It is about creating small anchors that tell your brain, day after day, that it is safe, nourished, and valued. And when the brain feels cared for, it often responds with clarity, steadiness, and strength. Number 8, emotional care. The role of family. When people think about dementia, they often picture memory loss. But behind every memory slip is a person with emotions, dignity, and a deep need to feel respected. That is why emotional care is as important as diet, medicine, or exercise. Families are not just bystanders in this journey. They are part of the treatment. I remember a patient in her late 70s who grew anxious when she could not recall her grandson's name. What made the biggest difference for her was not a new medication, but the way her family responded. Instead of correcting her harshly, they smiled, gently reminded her, and carried on the conversation as if nothing was wrong. That reassurance calmed her heart more than any pill could. Too often, families make a painful mistake. They talk over the patient rather than with them. A father asks a question and the children respond to each other instead of to him. A mother expresses confusion, and relatives dismiss it with, "That is just how she is now." These small acts, repeated daily, can make a person feel invisible. Over time, that sense of isolation worsens the very symptoms families hope to ease. Respectful communication means slowing down, making eye contact, and using a gentle tone. It means asking questions in a way that gives the person dignity. Would you like tea now or a little later? Instead of, do you even remember when you want tea? These subtle differences tell the brain, you still matter, you are still loved. Studies from the Alzheimer's Association highlight that social interaction and emotional support can slow the progression of dementia. Conversation, touch, music, and laughter all stimulate the brain circuits. They do not erase the disease, but they enrich life, bringing light into what can otherwise feel like a darkening tunnel. Let me ask you directly, how do you or your family show respect and compassion to someone struggling with memory? Have you found a phrase, a makong, or a daily ritual that makes them smile again? Please share it in the comments. Your story may give another caregiver the courage to try something new tonight. Emotional care is not a soft luxury. It is medicine for the soul and the brain. When families treat their loved ones with dignity, they are not only easing the pain of today, they are building moments of peace, love, and connection that will last long after words are forgotten. Number 9, hope and healing. Why change is still possible. When I speak with seniors and their families, one of the most common feelings I see in their eyes is fear. Fear that memory loss means the end of independence. Fear that dementia is a one-way street with no exits. But I want you to hear this clearly. Change is still possible. The brain is not a fixed stone. It is more like a living garden. With care, it can grow new pathways even in later years. Neuroscientists call this ability neuroplasticity, the power of the brain to form new connections. Research from Harvard Medical School shows that seniors who practice regular exercise, such as walking 30 minutes 5 days a week, improve blood flow to the brain and strengthen memory. Other studies reported by the New York Times confirm that learning new skills, like playing a musical instrument, practicing a second language, or even gardening, can stimulate the brain to adapt and grow. These are not small changes. They are real opportunities to slow decline and even regain clarity. I once cared for a retired veteran in his mid-70s. When he first came to me, he was discouraged. He had forgotten directions to his favorite diner and thought his independence was gone. But with gentle lifestyle changes, a balanced diet rich in walnuts and eggs, daily stretching, and regular social activities at his church, he slowly regained confidence. Within 6 months, he was once again driving short distances and telling jokes with his grandchildren. His brain did not go back in time, but it adapted enough to restore joy to his daily life. Hope is powerful medicine. Without it, people stop trying. With it, they can surprise themselves. That is why I often tell families, never underestimate the resilience of the human brain. Small steps, repeated with consistency, create change that feels almost miraculous. So let me turn to you. What gives you hope in your own health journey? Is it a daily walk, a favorite prayer, or the smile of a grandchild? Share it in the comments. Your story might give another person the strength to keep going tomorrow. Dementia may bring challenges, but it does not erase the possibility of healing. Every day you choose to eat wisely, move gently, and speak kindly to yourself. You are proving that change is not only possible, it is happening, and that is a victory worth celebrating. As we come to the end of this journey together, I want to remind you of the larger picture. Dementia and memory decline may feel like overwhelming challenges, but they are not the whole story of aging. The truth is that every day your choices, what you eat, how you move, how you connect with others, shape the health of your brain. We have talked about foods that nourish your memory, herbs that support circulation, acupressure points that restore calm, and the deep power of emotional care. These are not just ideas from a textbook. They are practical, everyday tools that you can begin to weave into your routine today. I know it can feel discouraging to face the possibility of memory loss, but please hear me as both your doctor and your companion on this path. It is never too late to make changes. Even small actions, a morning walk, a banana in your breakfast, a few minutes of gentle scalp massage, can send a powerful message to your brain that it is valued and cared for. That message matters. The brain listens. I have watched men and women in their 70s and 80s regain clarity, joy, and a sense of independence through simple daily steps. No, we cannot erase every risk, but we can reduce it. We can build resilience. We can protect the brain before it needs saving. And in doing so, we give ourselves more time to live well, to remember the stories that matter, and to share love with the people around us. So I encourage you to reflect for a moment. What one change can you begin today? Maybe it is choosing walnuts over chips. Maybe it is setting a reminder for your evening walk. Or maybe it is simply speaking kindly to yourself when you forget a word. Pick one small habit and let it be the start of your healing journey. And I would love to hear from you. After watching this video and practicing these tips, how do you feel? Do you notice more energy, calmer thoughts, or simply more hope? Please share your reflections in the comments. When you speak, you are not only helping yourself, you are building a community where others can find courage and comfort too. Before you go, I have one more resource for you. There is a hidden risk many seniors overlook: alcohol. A single drink at the wrong time can raise your stroke risk overnight. To learn more, I invite you to watch my next video. This alcoholic drink raises stroke risk overnight. Your mornings matter, your brain matters, and so does your story. Let's keep walking this path of health together, one choice at a time.